Hi everybody, I am Lady Stars on Fire. My real name is Michelle Espinosa, and this is the weekly healing messages, well, kinda, the weekly healing messages for March 11th through the 17th. And I say kinda because of the way I'm being given the energy to give to you this week. I may get into the astrology a little bit more in detail. I may not. It all depends on how long this goes, what I'm being given to give to you from Spirit as I do the video in the first place. I'm sorry, my cat is trying to jump all over my paperwork and stuff, and he's messing me up. So that's what all that was about. Anyway, it's because I have so much that I have to give to you, as we go through the rest of this month of March in general. So this is for this week, but it is kind of going past that and kind of going through the whole month in general. And it has to do with everything that Spirit is giving me. And yes, it does have to do with the astrology because we are in Mercury retrograde, but Mercury in retrograde is... It only makes you acknowledge things. It's not what made your life good or bad. It's not what made, the bad situations bad. It made the bad situations more presented to you. That's all that really did. And you know what I'm saying? You can't blame Mercury for doing its job and making stuff more noticeable. As we get into the rest of this month, though, like I said, this Mercury retrograde is a very powerful one. And then we just had Uranus that moved. Let's not forget that this energy is taking place between a new moon and a full moon. And it's not just a full moon. It's coming up on the spring equinox. There's a reason all of this energy is taking place exactly when it is taking place. And I have been spending all kinds of energy this week with Spirit. And I'm going to get into that more as I get into what I'm saying to you today. But when I'm being told right off the bat is, you want to live the best life possible, don't you? Right? You want to have and create the best life for yourself that you can, right? Well, the only thing that's keeping you from getting it is you. Whether you want to hear that or not, the only thing that's keeping you from getting it is you. Maybe it's your vibrational frequency. Maybe it's your doubts. Maybe, because Metatron is forever telling me, Archangel Metatron is forever telling me, how many times I got to tell you to take the doubt out? Once you remove the doubt, you stop blocking yourself, cock blocking yourself, so to speak. And I just throw it out there in the best way that I know how to put it. So the only thing that's keeping you from getting where you want to get is maybe your self-beliefs, maybe your habits, things that have to be changed. And that's part of what this energy is. Because I'm being reminded as we actually start sifting into the energy, prior to really getting into the energy that's going on with this Mercury retrograde, with Uranus just moving into Taurus, which it will now be there for until 2026. You're still learning about everything that you have been changing about yourself, correcting in forms, rising in forms about yourself for the last 10 years. Because that's what was happening in Aries with Uranus. Your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, in the universal first house of a little bit of me first, a little bit of ego, a lot of fire, and kind of overwhelmed, and now I'm kind of going to sit down and not finish or follow through. That's kind of what all that energy came down to. So for the last 10 years, we've been touching spots on all of those energies. The only thing that's keeping us from moving forward is ourselves in those areas where we don't follow through or where we haven't learned to rise above. Now, they remind me, though, Spirit does, peace within is found only through love. Love in itself is the only real thing. And when we express that love and we're able to find unconditional love, then we are starting to be able to find peace within, as well as peace of mind. We need to remember that, especially as we approach through this week. Now, I've been saying that this Mercury retrograde is taking place in Pisces with the Sun there, with Vesta there, with Neptune there in its home sign. Okay? And this is very much this Mercury retrograde, which has been taking place, and it will continue to take place until March 8th. And then you'll still be in shadow for 2 weeks when Jupiter will then be the first actual planet, because Mercury goes retrograde a couple times in each year, when Jupiter on the 10th will go retrograde. Okay? It's important to get this stuff sifted out as much as you can by the time Jupiter goes retrograde on April 10th. Remember, Mercury retrograde ends on March 28th. And then it has 2 weeks of shadow, where it's still reassessing those darker energies that was going on during the Mercury retrograde. This is, for all intents and purposes, a purging that is happening. Pisces is a water energy. Pisces is our subconscious. Pisces is our spiritual energies. It is our spiritual energies. It's water. But it's our psychic energies, our psychic powers, our psychic gifts. But it's, more importantly, purification. And we're learning how to attune and calibrate ourselves to a higher vibrational frequency. Because Pisces is also the universal 12th house. It's where the soul is found. So the soul in itself is crying over the ego right now and making sure you hear what it has to say. And if you're in a good place, you're feeling good about everything right now, there's not anything wrong with that. That's a glorious thing. Because what Spirit is reminding me is Pisces is water. It's that universal 12th house. It's where the soul is. Some people are simply dealing with waves. Some people have a little bit bigger of a wave, like a tidal wave coming in. Some people are feeling a hurricane. And some are dealing with the energies of a tsunami. This has to do with where you are. Where you are on your path. How much have you cleaned up? How much are you in denial about? This is calibrating your chakras, cleansing them, unblocking them, and trying to move forward. This is attuning to a higher vibrational frequency so that you can become more of a spiritual frequency. That's what this is all about. I told you I've been spending a lot of time with Spirit this week. Now, with that being said, this purging is not always a destructive energy. Sometimes it's just cleansing and purification in general. It just depends on where you are on your path on how this purging is coming out during this Mercury retrograde. And most likely, the purging has already happened. Unless you're really stubborn and hasn't been able to get through your blockhead yet. Hey, I had a big fight with my own mom this week, and for those of you who know me and have been following me for a long time, honey, I screwed up royally. I made mess of things. I felt like a dirtbag for a few days. We all go through these things. Things are much better now. The stagnant energy had to be released, and I was saying last week, don't get that stagnant energy confused. Because that's what Spirit said, not me. Spirit kept stating, don't get stagnant energy confused or stagnation confused with divine spark. But that was part of what I had to go through in order to move forward. Like I said, some of us are dealing with waves. Some of us are dealing with a tidal wave. Some of us have a tsunami that we are overcoming. And that all depends on where you are on your path. There is nothing wrong with where you are on your path. You have to clean up and heal yourself in order for your path to get better. It's that simple. Now, with that being said, again, we have to take the doubt out. I'm just being reminded of that again. We need to take the doubt out. But this energy, like I said, there's a reason this is all happening from one new moon to a full moon. When there's the equinox, the full moon will be in Virgo at that point. which is where the lie detector lives. That's the way I put Virgo. Virgo is the detail-oriented one, the healthcare one, the one that sees through the bullshit. It's got its own built-in lie detector as well, because it's the organizer. It's the built-in finger pointer. And this energy is also the day that the sun is making its move too. I mean, that's part of the spring equinox and when it all happens. There's a major shift coming in right now. And this is like, I said last week, it's like Spirit says, we're just going to take you out of this spot and we're going to put you in over here for a little bit, for a couple weeks, and then we'll drop you back in over here and see what you learn. This is what we're getting right now. This is also helping us focus on our higher vibrational frequency, because this is changing our security. A lot of this energy is helping us overcome what we thought was security and survival, and coming into a higher spiritual level of understanding security and survival, and seeing where that takes us. Which is also starting from the root chakra and working its way up. So it's resetting a whole new balance. This is, like I said, it's a new calibration, a new attunement. Now, I've been spending all kinds of time with Archangel Metatron, with Thoth. And this week I am getting Osiris and Isis energy. I'm getting a lot of the merging of the feminine and the masculine. But it's clarity that is coming in as this is shifting. So it's I don't know how to put it. It has to do with some of the teachings that I'm getting from Metatron as well, and Thoth. And for some people, they will see them as the same being. That's up to you. I'm not here to tell you how you're going to see anything. But it is a masculine and a feminine energy, and bringing a new clarity with a new higher vibrational frequency, a new spiritual frequency. And after you've gotten through that purge, after the waves have come in, or the tsunami has come in, depending on where you are on your path, it is focusing on that new high vibrational frequency. We are learning to take from, and the best way I can put it is the way I was given it, is, and not saying that anybody's a zero. There is no zero. It's just a way of making you emotionally understand what I'm trying to say. But taking it from zero to champion. You've got to understand, a lot of us have been going through our spiritual healing. We've been going through our spiritual evolution and evolving and ascending. We're learning how to come into our power. We're learning how to start to understand what our authenticness is. And now all these energies are lifting to a much higher place. And that's because of all the people that are doing this and are healing. The vibrational frequency must lift. And as it lifts, so shall you. As above, so below. Okay? Now, sorry, I get that now. That was a conversation I was having with them earlier. It just popped back up on me. But, we go from zero to champion. Now, the thing is this energy that's coming in this month and into when, this spring equinox takes place, as well as, like I said, you're trying to get this energy under control and healed and going at least in the right direction and getting that feel back. Zero is, I'm starting to know of my power. I'm starting to know of my authenticness. I'm starting to realize the truth. So I'm starting to awake. Starting. I'm acknowledging it. The champion is when you start to exude it. That's what this is about. This is exuding the confidence to change that root chakra to a new level of security and survival. To raise the stakes. And with that comes confidence. Like I said, I'm being given Osiris and Iris together. The other thing is if you're not understanding or you don't follow Egyptian mythology in any way, shape, or form, the way that they're putting it to me, because I'm getting it in a couple different ways. The way that they're giving it to me for what this energy is should be taking you from is starting to understand who you are, starting to step into that power, starting to reclaim your power, reclaim your authentic self, starting to acknowledge this and come into that. But once you start to acknowledge it, you haven't claimed it yet. You're not exuding it yet. You're learning of yourself. That's a glorious thing. There's a difference between learning of yourself and stepping in the power in the way of exuding it. And for those who read tarot, the way that Spirit is giving me it is you take the High Priestess, you take the Emperor, and you take the Empress, and smash them into one card. You're no longer three separate entities. You're all of them combined into one. This is the eye of the tiger. This is the roar of the lion. Okay. Cats mark their territory. Especially if they haven't been fixed. They mark their territory and it stinks. But that's kind of like the roar of the tiger. The roar of the tiger. The roar of the lion is the way that they're giving it to me. They mark their territory. You can smell it. It's in the air. And the best way I know how to put it, and I'm not trying to brag, is I'm a Leo. But when a Leo enters the room, we have that roar. You know we're there. We don't mean necessarily to be that kind of person. It's who we are. We're loud. We are obnoxious. We're loud. Our energy is big. Okay? That's the roar in us. The roar of the lion. It's not always about roaring because you're purging. It's not always about roaring because, I must be right. Or dramatic bullshit. The roar is not always about, about showing what's right. The roar of the lion is simply because all this, it's mine. Understand something, baby. We don't think we're better than you. And neither does the lion necessarily in the way I'm speaking of this energy. All of this, yeah, it's mine. All of this. It's yours too. Just don't take mine from me. I'm going to make sure you know. This part's mine. That is the same energy as when an animal like the cats spray. They're marking their territory. It is the roar. It's in the air. You feel the energy. That is exuding that confidence. We don't even necessarily mean to do it. Leos don't. We just kind of do it really easily. Fixed signs do really tend to do that. But this is what I'm speaking of, going from zero to champion. You have to understand the roar of the lion, the eye of the tiger. It is an energy that is exuded that you just know. You feel it. You have to learn to find that in you. And this is speaking about Osiris and Isis. Osiris and Isis. Male, female, coming together as one. And energy. It is the clarity of the two coming together as one. This is where I'm told by Spirit, take the tarot cards and you take the High Priestess, the Emperor, and the Empress, and you smash them together into one card. This is where we're coming in this energy. This is about exuding the energy into the physical world. Oh, you know I'm here now. It's not about being obnoxious and egotistical. It's not about narcissisticness and going out there and claiming it like I said, this is my energy. This is my energy. You could be sitting right here next to me, but this is still my energy. The reason why is you can't have mine. It's mine. Get your own. That's what this is about. Stand in the confidence of who and what you are. Know the confidence of who and what you are. Lift that root chakra into a new level of spiritual vibrational frequencies and rebuild from the root up. That's what this is. This is speaking to us of rebuilding that, taking that energy of finding and starting to acknowledge ourselves from the zero to the champion that you are. And if you absolutely have no idea what I'm talking about, like I said, Spirit is giving me, for those who do get this, Spirit is giving me this. They're speaking to me of green aura with a magnetic energy in it. Magnetic. It's bringing to electricity. It's bringing in, magnetizing energy. This also brings in the manifestation with green, healthy heart chakra energy and nature energy, bringing that into you so that you're now bringing the energy to you, not taking it away because you didn't realize where you were on your spiritual path and you didn't realize that you were blocking yourself. This is where we're changing. This has to do with exuding that energy, exuding that confidence. But if you don't understand the high priestess, the emperor, and the empress, or you don't understand where I'm going with Osiris and Iris, as well as the left and the right eye, or the spiritual energy that I'm being told should be receiving if you can open yourself to hear it or acknowledge it. We're going from, for those who, for lack of better words, the way Spirit puts it to me, Spirit always speaks to me in music, and I don't know how else to put that because they have strange music that they choose to use for me, but that's because that's what works for me. And they give me all kinds of weird music. But they give me these 2 songs by Katy Perry. Roar would be the 0, actually. Take the sexual energy out and make that about yourself coming into yourself and exuding it with that energy. And go to Black Horse. Both by Katy Perry. One is very much exuding that energy, and one is just, I'm claiming my own power. One's done claimed it, and I know it, and so will everyone else, versus I'm acknowledging it. Now, this week I did not do a rune cast. I was given the Ace of Cups. I was also given, what is this? The 3 of Wands, which is virtue. I did post this on Facebook, and I will post it on on social media. This is coming from, of course, my Thoth deck. And the Ace of Cups speaks to us of unconditional love. I started off speaking to us of the only thing that is real is love. You just have to learn to understand and acknowledge it for what it is. And love helps you find forgiveness, honey. But this also gives us the opportunity for new relationships, new friendships, new projects. I am talking about going from the new moon, learning in this Pisces retrograde, where the waves are, or the tsunami, depending on what you are, and into the new, as well as forgiveness. But the virtue and the 3 of Wands speaks to us of not entirely too fast. Not entirely too fast. Make sure you have your clarity right. Make sure that if you are full on clarity and you know exactly what's going on, make sure you're getting your goals set properly before you put them into action. This is about making sure before you make decisions, you're making intelligent ones so that it works with your spiritual energy, because it has to go with this Ace of Cups. Okay, it has to go with the unconditional love, which may have to do, my love, with loving yourself and coming into your own healing energies first. That might be the relationship that it's talking about before you can truly move on to the next. Now, I will speak of this in astrology this week. We do still have the North Node, which is in Cancer, is still not getting along well. It's in opposition with Pluto and Saturn. So your rules, your walls, your boundaries. I didn't know the light was all shining in my face. Your rules, your walls, your boundaries is not getting along with what you really, truly need to do to make yourself move forward. Because Cancer, with the North Node, is speaking to the root of making those root changes that have created you to be who and what you are. But some of those root changes are bad habits that need to be changed, that's keeping you from being exactly who and what you are. and you're not able to acknowledge that. So this is a little bit of an inner battle with your own healing, because some of this has to be overcome. Some rules, walls, and boundaries have to be shifted so that you can move forward. And you're not necessarily comfortable with that karmic energy, because you might be actually more comfortable with the karmic energy because you know it. It's about being brave enough to step up and try something new, because I've been getting 12-12 this whole time. And it's stepping out of that comfort zone and going into a new direction. Just like with the Ace of Cups. Are you bold enough to drink from the cup? Okay, then you have the North Node is getting along quite well with the Sun and Mercury as they cross one another this week. This is that Mercury retrograde coming into figuring out how to do exactly what I've been saying in this video today. Exude who and what you are. You're no longer figuring out who and what you are. You exude it. You claimed it. And now you're being it. You can claim it all you want, but until you begin to be it, two different subjects. Okay, now this is about bringing that healing forward as we move forward, because it's that universal 12th house. This is where the soul is found, but it's where also the soul must heal. Okay, it is not getting along with Jupiter. So there is higher abundance and knowledge about yourself, your higher self, that your ego is trying to block. You have to know when soul is talking and when ego is talking. Just like I said in the beginning of the show. The beginning of the video. Stagnation, baby. If it's stagnant energy, if it's stagnation, then you're not going anywhere. It's not healing either. It's not being fixed. There's definitely a difference between stagnation and divine spark. Don't get them confused. You can do this. There's so much for you to move forward about. The higher self is making you hear these things. And the reason it's coming out so emotionally on you is because this Mercury retrograde is happening in Pisces. Like I said, you either have the waves, or you get the tsunami, or the tidal waves, or the hurricane. It doesn't matter. We're all on our own path. And for all of us, it's equally just as difficult. It's about healing from the root, from the soul, and getting past ego's bullshit and understanding where Neptune is able to create healthy magic. Or if you're allowing yourself to continue to create from the stagnation. That's what this is about. Now, you also have Mars all week, though, which is there to back up. Mars is in Taurus, and the moon is going to be coming through it this week. But Mars is, or actually, it's right now. But Mars is in Taurus, and this is speaking to our warrior, our inner SWAT team, our sexual energy, our passion, our action, our aggression. And in Taurus, you have the bull energy, which can be very bullheaded. Just are you being bullheaded with your warrior for the right reason or the wrong reason? That's what this comes down to. Because it is getting along great with Saturn and with Pluto. And Capricorn, which is all about, like I said, building new foundations. Building something from the ground up. Erecting a brand new soul self. Basically is what this is coming down to. So, are you going to take that chance, step out of your comfort zone, get out of the stagnation, and start readjusting those rules, walls, and boundaries so the change can take place? The spiritual soulfulness can start to come out. That's what this is about. And we have on the 13th, though, I am being projected to the fact that Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius, is going to be having a conversation with with the moon and Juno. Juno is what I call love. A lot of people say that love is Venus, and I say that's not true. And I tell them all the time, Venus is your sensitivities. Venus tells you what you like and what you don't like, what you love and what you hate, what hurt you and what betrayed you versus what treated you kind and correct. Venus also tells you on a physical level of your body what's right and what's wrong, what's good for you, what's not. If you put your hand in an oven cooking 365 degrees of cookies without an oven mitt, you burn the shit out of your hand. That's Venus saying don't do that shit. Okay? Venus tells you what's good for you, what's bad, why it is what it is. In Aquarius, it's really taking on the chance of, let me test this. Let me step up to the playing field. Okay? Because Aquarius is the rebel within that's always looking to ascend, always looking to be the new king, to be the king that is ascending, more or less of the zodiac. That is what Aquarius is. It's always looking to the next, looking to the future. It is the rebel within that's willing to take the chance and try something new. And then also, it's very much in the wanting to take care of everybody else. It's about caring about people and loving people and knowing how people are also supposed to be treated as a society, is how Aquarius looks at things. And then that's also your outer community. So it's also your dreams, it's your goals, it's your wishes, it's your friendships, it's your memberships. Venus is speaking to you about the sensitivities you have there. And are they good for you or bad? Are you acknowledging that? But it's getting along incredibly well with Juno. Juno is what is considered Jupiter's wife. Juno is the sacrifice and the commitment it takes to make it work. Where I look at Venus as the one that's the beginning spark of the relationship where you're all like, and I like you, and na 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 na. And then once it wore off, you're left with Juno, and do you have the sacrifice and commitment it takes to make it work or not? Juno and Venus are getting along. So, and the moon is there. In Gemini. I call Gemini Jekyll and Hyde. So you truly are seeing all sides of the picture on the 13th. This could be a very positive day for you. A positive day to take those chances and move in a new direction. Because this is only happening on the 13th. Okay, then we also have, no, it's happening on the 13th and the 14th. But I am seeing that, let me double check, double check. The moon on the 14th, though, is going to emotionally not be getting along with your energy that is coming out of Pisces. So those waves, even though Venus is there in Aquarius, helping the sensitivity to be known and acknowledged and make those proper commitments with Juno and sacrifices that are needed, it is not getting along with those karmic ordeals that are coming out of the waves of Pisces and that retrograde energy. Just giving you the heads up. It is also, we have a grand trine that day where we have the Sun and Mercury is not getting along with Jupiter in Sagittarius, higher self, and it's also not getting along with the moon in general. So like I said, that day there's going to be some kind of conflict, emotional conflict of soulfulness. And are you getting out of the stagnation? Are you stepping away from what you've come to understand is comfortable, but you're not really going anywhere? You're not really healing. You're not really changing. You're not really evolving. It's the stagnation, and that's ego talking shit to you. And Mercury retrograde. Are you going to exude who you are in a healthy way? More or less. Because higher self is begging this energy to let the new take place, to let the waters clean you and wash you dry. Take the purification in. Listen to your intuition, not your ego. This is, like I said, they've been giving me clarity all week. This energy is about making sure you're starting to see the truths and the clarity that typically is hidden as we move forward. Like I said, this is about, the astrology part is about this week, but the energy I'm being given is for the whole month. I love you all, and you can always catch the rest of the astrology on Otherland Dreams every week. or check my next video when I do it next week. But Otherland Dreams is on FXBG Public Radio, and we have changed our time to 10:30 because we are live on FXPG Public Radio. It's a podcast. Otherland Dreams is at 10:30 on Tuesday evenings. But we changed to 10:30 because not only are we live, but we're also doing live videos that we will be starting to put out there for you to watch at, for now on. So you'll be able to go back and watch the show, not just listen to it on a podcast. And if you enjoy the show and me and Hill Hippie and the way we just communicate as we go over everything, please, please subscribe and please tell a friend. I love you all. And I believe in you. You can exude exactly who you are. Just get past figuring out who you are and start being it. I love you. Bye.